Hi, and welcome to your Power Yoga half-hour session. I'm Vicky Alberto, and I will lead you through a grounding root chakra session today. To start, we will get that energy flowing through us with some nice, gentle twisting of the body, flowing our arms and our legs in either direction. Just getting some nice movement into your knees, into your hips, shoulders, wrists. Some nice, gentle flow to get us started moving and grooving today. Coming to mountain pose with your feet slightly apart, hip width apart, energetic arms to your side, shoulders on your back body, everything relaxed, and a nice elongated spine. Your root chakra is located at your tailbone or your perineum area, and you want a nice neutral pelvis for a nice grounding session. This is a good time to set an intention for your practice, and I am statement, which is associated with your root chakra, or simply, if it suits your needs, to visualize the color red. Now, finding your deep oceanic breath, a sustainable breath for your practice, in and out through your nose, your life force. And taking time to set that intention. After a few deep belly breaths, we will do some neck rolls. On your next exhale, dipping your chin, and as you inhale from side to side, inhale to lift, exhale through the center, inhale to lift, exhale to center. I'll let you flow at your own pace, in your own breath, for a few more. And at your next inhale, you can meet me in center. Clasping your hands behind your back, still in mountain pose. Whether you can have your palms to touch, or if you can just clasp your hands like this, it's perfectly fine. We'll take a nice shoulder opener, pressing everything down, rooting down into your feet, nice elongated spine, palms or fingertips pressing down, coming back to your breath. And for an added stretch, if you can pull those arms away from your body, you'll get a deeper stretch. Breathing through your sensations, coming back to your intention for your day, and letting that all go with a sigh. Maybe shaking that out. Coming to a toe stand, I'll show you from the front. You'll probably be at the top of your mat. Feet to touch. Inhale to lift, palms to touch. Exhale. As you sink down, lift your heels up and slowly exhale all the way down with palms to heart center. If this is sustainable, great. If not, simply place your knees down onto the ground, as we'll be here for a few moments. wherever your body allows you to go today. If you're on a toe stand, an option is to press those feet together and open the legs, really grounding those sit bones onto your heels. Nice balance, finding your breath. Palms to touch if you're able to. And breathing through the sensations. And letting all that go. You may want to tap your toes and get some nice blood flowing through there for a nice little break. Coming into a seated position, we will do some seated cat-cows and a little bit of a variation. Instead of just flowing with your breath, inhaling to lift and exhaling to come back, try rolling this out. So inhaling forward in a roll and exhaling all the way back. Inhaling forward and exhaling back. We can reverse that. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. Nice fluid movement. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. And flowing with your breath. One more or two more on each side. To getting a nice spinal rotation. And meeting into center. Your left hand crosses to your right knee, and your right hand placed behind you for a twist. Inhaling for a nice elongated spine and exhaling to twist. Breathing into your sensations, both of your sit bones nicely grounded into the ground. Thinking about that root chakra. Maybe coming back to your intention as you breathe, or envisioning the color red. On your next exhale, meeting in center and twisting to the other side. Inhaling to lift that spine and exhaling to twist. Once again, breathing into your twist. Where can you soften? Where can you release? And enjoying your twist. And meeting into center. Flipping onto all fours. Preparing for downward facing dog. We will hover the knees and press those sit bones up to the sky, high on your toes. Head is nice and loose and pressing those heels back. It's okay if your heels don't touch the ground. It's more important to ground down through these hands, nice and firmly, straight legs, and pushing back. You may want to pedal out your feet, or I actually like to slightly bounce and press back into my heels. It depends what's available in your body. Again, getting your heels to the ground is not necessary. And if this is too aggressive, you can even take a slight bend. It's about widening your sit bones and pressing back as much as possible. and enjoying a few moments of breath. Possibly coming back to your intention, or visualizing the color red, letting all of that energy flow through you, no compression into the neck, letting it dangle off your spine. Really opening up into those hamstrings. Just a few more breaths here. And we'll flow this through with a vinyasa. You may need to step back, inhaling to high plank, lowering with an exhale, pushing to upward facing dog, curling the toes, and pressing once again back to downward facing dog. Really opening up those hamstrings that we'll need later on. Again, I like to give a little bit of a bounce here. You may like to find some stillness. Stepping to the top of your mat, finding a fold. Inhale to halfway lift, and exhale to fold all the way down. Possibly grabbing onto opposite elbows, releasing the head just for a moment. Really rooting down into those feet. Sit bones high to the sky. And letting that head just drop with no compression. On your next inhale, rolling all the way up your spine. And stepping your feet wide on your mat, we will find a wide-legged forward fold. This will be a brief one. So again, pressing back, hinging at the hips as you dip your heart forward, exhaling, exhaling. And when you can't go any further, releasing your head and your hands to the ground. Really pressing into those feet. And possibly coming back to your intention with a few deep belly breaths. We'll start rocking this with hamstring stretches from side to side. For this, you will need to, it doesn't matter what side you start on, to lift one toe, or heel onto your toes, sitting down onto that heel and lifting the other side, the other toes directly to the sky. A nice hamstring stretch. Some of you may be even able to have a tall, elongated spine and fold over. You can inhale to back out and exhale to fold. Moving on to the other side, simply scoot over. Once again, slowly, intentionally, onto that heel, lifting your toes, lifting your toes, really rooting down onto that heel, finding a nice hamstring stretch. And again, if you're able to, find a nice elongated spine and stretching down to the side. for an added hamstring stretch. Now we'll flow through with your breath from side to side, inhaling to center, exhaling down. Inhaling to center, exhaling down. Flowing with your breath. Nice intentional movement. Nice hamstring stretches. And just a few more. And when you feel balanced, coming back to center, inhaling to halfway lift, and exhaling once more to fully fold. Inhale to halfway lift, and take as many breaths as it takes to roll up to standing. Turning your left foot to the top of your mat and twisting your back leg down to the mat for a nice lunge, a brief lunge. Opening up once again, rooting down. We will step our foot, front foot, to the edge of our mat. Hands touch down. And you can roll to the pinky edge of your left foot, giving a nice deep opener, breathing into these sensations. And if available in your body, you may be able to place your elbows down to the ground. If you can't, staying up here is perfectly fine. Some of you maybe even want to rock it out a little bit, getting a little bit more movement into that joint. Or some of you might like to find some stillness. Wherever you are, deep belly breathing, coming back to your I am statement, or visualizing the color red. To release, simply inhale up, and we'll move to the other side. Stepping your foot back. This time your right foot comes forward for a lunge. A brief lunge. Setting yourself up. Taking that foot to the edge of your mat. Hands in center. Rolling to that pinky edge of your right foot. And finding that nice deep stretch. Again, some of you might want to rock this out. Or if you're able to get your elbows to the ground, if you have the room in your hips, you might like to find some stillness. Wherever you are, breathe deeply and ensure there's no compression in your neck. Think about, are you gripping anywhere? If you are, release everything, soften everything. Breathe into the sensations. And to come out of the pose, simply inhale and come back to all fours. Now, preparing for splits, this may sound intimidating. Not everyone can do the splits. We don't expect everybody to be able to. Let your ego go and just give this a try. If you have blocks at home, you may like to use them. It's not necessary. I will show you two options. So taking your right foot forward, as you would for your lunge, crawling those toes as far forward as possible until you can't anymore. You can place your hands on either side of your leg. Nice hamstring stretch for a moment here. And start pushing your back leg, your left leg, in opposition. It may help to turn your toes up to start. Crawling yourself down and down some more. Going to your depth, breathing to your sensations. And some of you may be able to touch down. If you're able to touch down, try to keep a nice elongated spine. Now, for those of you who want to practice at home, you can always slide a block underneath you. And this is a nice release if you can't quite make it down to the ground. Breathing deeply. I won't hold you very long here. Again, some of you, most of you are probably on your hands. And to come out of this pose as gracefully as possible, crawling yourself back. Slowly and intentionally. Coming to the other side. Stepping your left foot forward this time. Again, crawling those toes forward. You know where you're going until your leg straightens as much as possible. Finding perhaps a nice hamstring stretch here. Placing your hands down. And now starting to push that back leg back. Here's where I'll show you that both sides are not created equal. Again, that top foot, it may be easier at first to lift those toes. On this side, as you can see, this is my depth. This is as far as I can take it. I cannot touch down yet. So for me, sliding a block underneath and releasing allows me to sit up tall and actively stretch those legs out. One side is typically tighter than the other. Breathe into this sensation. I know it's burning. You should feel sensation and not pain. If there's any pain, come right out of the pose as gracefully as possible. And coming to a seated staff pose. Feet directly in front of you. Nice grounded sit bones. Finding your roots. Pressing those feet out straight in front of you as if you're trying to press into a wall. Inhale your arms to lift. And exhale forward. Now once again, hinging at your hips. Heart leads. Instead of rolling into your back, it's hinging at your hips, And wherever your hands fall, they fall. Some of you, maybe your knees. Some of you may be able to touch your toes. Some of you may be able to grab onto your feet. Wherever you are pressing that chest forward, breathing deeply, possibly coming back to your intention, or envisioning the color red into your roots, into your tailbone. And once you find your depth, you can release your head again as if that crown is being pulled towards your feet. Essentially, this is a seated forward fold. Some of you, with every breath, may be able to find a little more depth. Inhaling and exhaling to release. Again, try not to round into the spine. Soft shoulders and pulling forward. On your next inhale, we will lift. And now that our hamstrings are nice and open, we will find a nice seated balance. It's a wide-legged seated balance. For this pose, yogi's choice, you can grip onto your big toe, or if you have short arms like I do, you may want to grip onto the outside pinky edge of your feet, pulling them in towards you. Inhaling to find some length. And at your own pace, lifting one leg at a time and really balancing on those sit bones, rooting into the ground. The more you pull yourself forward, the easier it is to balance. Worst case scenario, you roll back. From here, explore pressing one foot out at a time. Or for those of you that are experienced, you may be able to press into both feet at the same time and hold this wide-angled seated position. Wherever you are, breathing is the most important part of yoga. Letting go of your ego and going to the depth that your body allows. Breathing into the sensations. You have nice open hamstrings right now. This is a nice core balancing pose. And on your next exhale, letting all that go. Rolling on to your spine. We will do a little bit of core work. Taking your knees in towards your chest, and as if you're gluing those legs together, placing your hands to your sides and rolling out your spine. As you roll your feet away from you, you inhale, and as you bring them back in, exhale. Really rolling out your back body and really engaging in your core. Exhale to bring it in. Inhale out. Exhale to bring it in. And flowing with your breath. You may want to reverse it. Inhaling to find length. Exhaling to bring it all in. Nice, slow circles flowing with your breath. Really working that core and massaging out your back body. Massaging out your roots. Once you feel balanced, pull yourself into a nice little ball. Give yourself a nice little squeeze, honoring yourself for all your hard work, for all the grounding practice that you did. Letting your feet touch the ground. Taking a nice glute stretch. Crossing your left leg over your right knee, or just above it, I should say, not onto it. Pressing your left knee away from you. And if available in your body, threading your hands through for a nice glute stretch. If you're not able to pull through, that's all right. Keep your foot down. But wherever you are, breathing into your sensations, maybe coming back to your I am statement, or envisioning the color red at the base of your spine. Taking a few moments to really enjoy all the sensations. On your next exhale, letting that go and switching to the other side. This time, crossing your left or your right leg onto your left knee, just above it. Again, pressing that top knee away from you. This may be enough sensation that opens up right through the hip. Or to find the glute stretch, threading the needle, bringing that foot up. Again, keeping that a nice press away from your body with that crossed knee. Pulling in, breathing in to the glute stretch. Once you feel balanced, preparing for your final resting pose, most people's favorite pose of the day, spreading yourself as wide as possible on your mat, taking up as much room as possible. Your feet, your arms, let everything go heavy. Finding that nice support in the ground. The ground, your mat is there to support you. This has been a very grounding practice. You've stayed low to the ground. Closing your eyes, scanning your body. Can you release those toes? Those fingertips? Now scanning from head. Chest. Back. Hips. Heavy legs. As I lead you into a few minutes of silence, thinking about the root chakra, your grounding chakra, it is associated with the earth. As I mentioned, the color is red. It is your support, your foundation. The I am statement is the core of your being. Feel that magnetic pull onto your mat as your root chakra is associated with the planet Earth. Let your breath go. Melt into your mat and enjoy a few minutes of rest. When you are ready, start wiggling your toes, your fingers. You might want to take a good morning stretch. Whatever wakes up your body, moving slowly, and meeting me into a seated position. Once in seated position, placing your hands at heart center, take a deep breath, sighing it all out. Resetting your inner compass for the day. I send you off with a loving and open heart, with hands at my lips, with kind and encouraging words, and with hands at my forehead, with peaceful and positive thoughts. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this practice, and I hope to see you again soon on your mat.